Hello. Welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, welcome. Make sure you subscribe. I'm Tashiann Yasmine, and like the title says, today we're going to be talking about daddy issues and healing daddy issues. And if you're watching this right now, you're probably on your healing journey, so I'm proud of you. You're making the steps necessary to just change your life and become a better person and become a healed person. So I'm proud of you, and I wish you nothing but the best on your journey. Yeah, you got this, sis or bro. But we are just gonna get right into it. If you didn't grow up with your dad like really present in your life, then most likely you have some form of daddy issues. A lot of women don't like to claim it because it's so cliche, or because they feel like they don't want to claim it. And there's a spectrum. It can be all different kinds of issues. Daddy issues can show up in your life all different kinds of ways. Like, it's not the same for everybody. So I feel like it's important for you to acknowledge that you might have some problems or trauma that stems from the lack of a presence of a father figure in your life, or your father in your life. It's important for you to establish what that looks like for you. That's an important aspect of yourself you should explore, because it can show up in your life in all different kinds of ways. It can show up in your relationships. It can show up how you parent. It can show up in how you feel about yourself. It's important to heal. Don't try to ignore it. If you are a person that has your mom in your life, most likely your mom held it down, your mom did a great job, and it's no discredit to your mother. I also feel like a lot of individuals feel like when they say they have daddy issues, it takes away some credit from their mother. And that's not the case. There's just some trauma that's been caused from the lack of a presence of a father in your life. I'll tell you guys about my own personal story. So when I was younger, my dad was in my life, and he had a lot of kids. My mom and my dad weren't together. So from early on, I could see that he wasn't necessarily accountable. I couldn't count on his word, basically. So my dad moved to Florida with his family. I didn't speak to him as much. I didn't see him as much. So he wasn't there for me as much. And then I basically kind of felt like an outsider for a while, you know, because he had his immediate family with his kids and his wife, and then it was like me and all my other siblings on like the outskirts. My mom always reassured me that my dad loved me and things of that nature. But despite that, I still had a sense of not belonging. I still had a sense of being not included. I still had a sense of not being loved by him, and just not being a part of his like family. I just yearned for that love and attention that you see on like TV, or that you hear about with like the daddy-daughter love. Fast forward to now being an adult, I realized that my daddy issues were being reflected in a relationship. I wanted to be loved so bad by a man. I wanted to be appreciated by a man. I wanted to know what it felt like to have like a masculine energy, just really love me for who I was, and really like find me worthy. I wanted that so much that it actually was to my detriment, because when that love wasn't there anymore, I felt like I wasn't worthy. I felt like I wasn't deserving of love. I felt like something was wrong with me. And on my journey to heal that part of me, I realized those feelings not only stemmed from my own insecurities, but they also stemmed from me not really experiencing the kind of love that I wanted to experience from my dad. I went on a journey to heal it fully, so that I can let go of that in order to attract the love that I desire, and not feed off of love, even if it's something that's detrimental or harmful or isn't the best for me. I only want the love that is a reflection of my own love, and a reflection of the worth and value that I see within myself. The first thing I did to get over like my daddy issues was love him with his flaws, like all his flaws. I was like, okay, this is my dad. I love him, and he obviously isn't perfect. He has some flaws. So I'm just going to relieve myself of all the negative feelings and thoughts that I had about my dad as a kid, and realize that those no longer resonate with me. Those feelings no longer serve me. Those feelings don't necessarily represent the person that my dad is. They're just the way I was feeling as a kid, and I harbored those feelings. So I made the choice to just love him for who he was. I called him and I had a discussion with him, and I just wanted to hear where he was coming from and understand more about him and the choices he made, and just to communicate with him how the choices that he made affects me and his other kids. And I encouraged him to have conversations with his other kids so that his kids can have conversations with him about how his choices has affected them, because like I said, everyone has daddy issues in their own way. He was very open, he was very receptive, and when he was talking to me, I realized that he's human. He did what he did with the knowledge that he had at the time. It's not like he purposefully did those things. I feel like he had the knowledge that he had at the time. There wasn't no internet, so he had to just live his life and learn however he learned it, you know? Like, I feel like now it's easier for us because we have the internet. We can Google, we can watch YouTube videos. Our evolution process is easier. However, I feel like with the generations before us, they kind of just had to learn and grow on their own and figure it out. He just didn't have some things figured out, and he kind of just did the best he could. And also, we got to think about his role models. Like, what did he learn about relationships and parenthood from his parents? If you can communicate with your father, I would suggest that, just so you can really talk to him and see like where his head is at, or see what kind of state of mind he might have been in. Like, you might get a different perspective when you speak to him, and they might also get a different perspective when they speak to you and fully hear where you're coming from. So I definitely think that's a conversation that's worth having if you can have it. And if you can't have it, just giving yourself the closure and understanding that your father is human and they made a mistake, even though the mistake is a big one that affected you. Don't take it personal. Just because they weren't in your life doesn't mean that they didn't love you per se. They just didn't love themselves enough to love another person, or they didn't have the knowledge or the courage or whatever to fully step into this fatherhood role. Imagine you did something and it stemmed from a place that was hurt. You hurt somebody because you were hurt. You would want to be forgiven. You would want people to understand that you didn't necessarily mean it, that it came from your own hurt. So I feel like even though you're not able to have that discussion, still understand that hurt people hurt people. So it really doesn't have nothing to do with you. They're acting from a place of their own hurt. It's important to understand that our parents don't have it all together. Like, they're human, bro. Like, they really are learning as adults now. I just came to terms with the fact that I am not a reflection of the love that I didn't receive, that I wanted to receive. I have to pour that love into myself. I can't expect, no matter who they are, I can't expect outside people to give me love. The hole that's just there in your heart will be filled by your own love. And now as an adult, because my father is still in my life, I am totally honest with him. I keep honest communication with him. If I make it a point to do what I want to do when it comes to him, I don't wait on him to invite me. I don't wait on him to tell me anything. I just kind of go when I feel like going, see him when I feel like seeing him. Don't wait on them to initiate the change. Just do it. I hope this video helps you. Please like it and subscribe if you aren't subscribed already. Thank you for watching. I hope you come back. Bye.